ladies and Jays. Welcome to another fucking stupid response video. I just thought I'd just go and see what Cole Hastings has been uploading. And, well, here's another fucking stupid video from him, as you can tell by the title, or not the title, the fucking thumbnail. The masculinity crisis, a generation of hope, and also by the title as well, that this guy has no idea what the fuck he's talking about, and clearly he's been hanging around the old crowd. And I mean the not so fun to hang out with old crowd, you know. The older people that sit around and probably bitch, is the crowd he probably hung out with. But, yeah, according to him, making insulting videos against an entire generation is an okay thing, which, by the way, none of these fucking exist. It's been an issue. But anyways, let's see what the fuck he's got to say. Shut up for a second. Let's turn on closed captions, and this is a fucking 22-minute video.
It is in a crisis. All around the globe, creators in niches like self-improvement, the Redpill, or anything else related to these categories are talking about the war on masculinity.
Your source is YouTubers? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay.
Why do you think there is such a crisis of masculinity?
Feminism has creeped into the mainstream like this.
Man spends his day lying in bed surrounded by screens.
And they're fucking making YouTube videos too, and also taking part in the shit this generation does as well. I mean, wouldn't it be a Gen Z thing to fucking be a content creator of any kind if that shit actually was real?
And I have to admit, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of what they say. But hear me out, because what I'm suggesting isn't to disband masculinity completely. I just think we need to upgrade the way we harness its power. Okay. When I was young, I went through a similar crisis that many young teenage men are facing these days.
No, not many. Only a selected few.
I had absolutely no clue what it meant to really be a man. I'd see heroes and male protagonists in movies like The Dark Knight, Gladiator, and even Taken being portrayed as an unstoppable force of nature, packed with brawn, grit, and muscle. And I'd wonder if that was what I needed to aspire to be. My everyday life wasn't...
I think he's still like that today. Except for it's with YouTube now.
Filled with much of the same, though. In school, most of the teachers I had growing up were women. And what the man I was closest to, my father, was really good.
What's wrong with the fucking women or feminine teachers? They teach you how to be your fucking self, too. Like, what the hell? I don't know. I just think that's kind of weird to say.
That was encouraging me to play a bunch of sports, like soccer, baseball, and hockey. Those things fueled my competitiveness and made me feel like I was tackling big accomplishments, as I thought a man should be. But when it came to the other, more personal realms of my life, I was left...
By the way, this has nothing to do with the video. I just want you guys to... I just wanted to show this, to show you how pointless this dumbass starts his fucking stupid-ass video. I am not joking. Like, this has nothing to do... with the fucking, the crisis or a generation of hopeless men. I think what he's actually trying to do is trying to, like, distance himself and say, whoa, I'm not a part of this. Even though his career is content creation. Which is a Gen Z type of thing to fucking do. Just saying. You know? Like, what the fuck, dude? What is the point in this? He gets into the ED thing as well. Like he did with the fucking Why Men Are Weaker Than Ever video.
Extremely confused. I didn't know how I should treat or talk to women, battle through hardships, and especially manage my emotions. By the end of middle school and all throughout high school, I found myself associated with the more popular...
By the way, that manage your emotions stuff is only select people yet again. Everyone's fucking different. This is how stupid this guy is, man. He cannot, like, I just don't think he gets out. He wants you to think he does, but when he does, it's with the crowd he already knows. You know? Like, didn't he also say in the fucking Why Men Are Weaker Than Ever video he dropped out of fucking college to pursue a fucking business, which, by the way, is YouTube?
for guys in my grade. A group of rowdy, in-your-face partygoers who like to funnel several beers at once, be
It's the
degenerate.
same story, too. This is the exact same fucking story you told before. Do you have anything else that's interesting in your life? Or is this one story about your ED the highlight of it?
And hook up with tons of girls. And
Doubt it.
because of everything I had seen portrayed in my life,
I doubt that. That actually, like, I don't care if he is doing that shit, if I end up being wrong. I don't give a fuck. But I just think it's a weird flex, in my opinion, to sit there and say, oh, well, I hooked up with a lot of girls. Like, he really is trying to distance himself from the generation he's fucking a part of. And this guy is actually probably the dumbest, I would say. Due to the fact that this guy believes that, you know, fucking Gen Zs and generations, like, in the way they're interpreted, not the right way. Which is to, you know, pinpoint time periods, not label other people. Dude, I doubt he was getting laid that much.
up until that point,
Because he probably talked about this shit all the time.
fact
Like,
that
just pointless things that no one gives a fuck about. He's like, oh, I had ED. You know I had ED.
had no real sense of what it meant to be manly, I took part in these behaviors in an effort to feel more like a man. But I have to admit,
You're stupid if you think that's what makes a man is fucking drinking. Unless you're hanging around the wrong fucking friends and you look like the type that if you were around during fucking Charles Manson's time, you probably would have fallen for his shit and joined the family. Because it seems like the crowd you hang out with is really seeping here. How about a generation of whiny and bitchy old people who fucking had a shitty life and just want to complain about an entire generation? Because their life sucks.
a lot of the stuff we did back then, I took part in because it actually was just a really fun time. But
Yeah, that's all it is.
regardless of this association and the fact that I took part in all these behaviors, I still felt like the least masculine out of all my friends. They would all have such an easy time talking to girls and sleeping with them. They would get into fights at parties when I didn't want to, and they even did better in school and some sports than me. And nothing made me feel like less of a man than not being able to get hard for almost an entire year with
God damn. What an epiphany.
every girl I tried to sleep with in college. All of these traditionally masculine traits I was trying to embody.
It's the same story he told in the Why Men Are Weaker Than Ever. Oh yeah, and this is recently. This was 3 months ago. So he still is an idiot and believes in that crap.
Dominance, aggression, competitiveness, and power were only leading me to feel more depressed and less masculine because I couldn't.
This is why I would never take Cole's advice, because first of all, he has, I think, a very limited experience with the planet. He's like only in his 20s, I believe. Because when I did my video reacting to his Why Men Are Weaker Than Ever video, I did, when I was doing the research, he was like 2 years older, I believe. I could be wrong, but he was like 2 years older than me. That would make him 26. And he made a video like that at 24, 25.
not fully embrace it. And in a world where 3 out of every 4 people
I mean, I wasn't thinking of that sort of shit when I was that age.
that choose to stop living are men, we have to ask this
Oh, this is actually, I'm sorry for talking over that.
embrace them. And in a world where 3 out of every 4 people that choose to stop living are men, we have to ask this crucial question.
Okay, what is the
parts of
question?
traditional masculinity are making men no longer want to live that make
You are so fucking dumb. What's masculinity got to do with having shitty parents, a shitty life, having financial issues that's actually kind of hard to get out of? Like what do you mean? Masculine. What a fucking idiot.
men
God
feel
damn,
worse rather than
man.
better?
Because he's not thinking. He's not thinking of the other possibilities. It's not just a masculine issue.
And what parts of traditional masculinity genuinely help men live better lives for themselves?
Oh my god, dude. No, it's the choices you make. And sometimes it's not. Okay, it's either unfortunate or it's either decision-based. You know, what I mean is some people make terrible decisions and then they end up getting themselves into a terrible situation. Like, I don't know why he thinks this has anything to do with fucking masculinity. This guy is retarded, I swear, man. Is this what you draw? If you did, I could be wrong, but I wonder if this is why you dropped out of college, because you realized how easy it is to fucking fool people on the internet.
Themselves and those around them. There isn't going to be a straight answer that will apply to every single man out there, but today...
Then why are you bringing it up? This is supposed to help those guys, isn't it?
I'm going to try and tackle this question as comprehensively as I can.
And I don't really care what you gotta say.
First, we need to identify what masculinity even is in the traditional sense.
I just think this video is hilariously bad. Like, there's no issue with masculinity. He's just making this into a problem, which makes me think he spends way too much time on the internet. Way more than what he wants you to think. Oh, I go out and I make 100 friends.
Masculinity is a set of traits or attributes that are regarded as characteristic of men. But you can see anyone exude masculine characteristics, not just men. We've already gone over 4 traits commonly associated with masculinity, which are dominance, power, aggression, and competitiveness. But I want to combine and add these to 3 core masculine traits that I want to go over in detail. And those 3 traits are strength...
By the way, I really want to spoil this. This doesn't matter. Everything he says from here is so pointless that it is not warranted 22 minutes of your time. I'm going to get to 10 minutes, and I'm going to spoil the video, because I'm not going to react to the whole thing, because this video is just bad.
Assertiveness and leadership. So let's start by going over what is touted as the golden trait of masculinity, strength. And I'm not just talking about physical strength, I'm talking about being mentally strong as well. If you're a frequent viewer of my channel, it's likely you've come across these reject modernity, embrace masculinity videos on YouTube. They all follow the same...
Never have, never will. I don't know why anyone would.
Formula. Start by showing some weak men doing modern things like eating too much junk food, putting on dresses on TikTok, or...
Okay, I think he's being sarcastic here.
Followed by what you should really be, which usually displays men lifting weights, being firefighters, athletes, or competitive fighters. All activities that require some sort of physical prowess. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of these videos are incredibly inspiring. When I put one of these on before my...
Alright. You're kind of a dumbass. A good camera and barely little to no editing is actually... Well, I can't say. I mean, he does an okay job. But a good $1,000 camera could get you a lot of places on YouTube, just saying.
My workout, then blast some hardstyle while pretending I'm one of those icons from the video, it gives me a huge boost of motivation and strength. But as with any masculinity message, I think the whole idea behind being stronger can be misconstrued and also just be toxic. You see, physical strength is usually determined by a couple key factors, testosterone and muscle. Something positive that I think these videos indirectly underlines is the importance of bringing to awareness the declining testosterone rates in men.
Oh, look! It's not even accurate! Look! Oh no! The inaccuracy is hilarious, Cole. Your video came out on the 28th of October, well, in 2022. Technically, actually 3 months ago. This is still irrelevant. Good job. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck if testosterone declined in 2020. Well, it was in the last 2 years. That's not every fucking dude. This guy's so stupid, I swear.
Past few decades. Testosterone is something that is closely intertwined with masculinity. It makes men feel more energetic. It makes them want to go after what they want.
Yeah, that still happens.
Them generally happier. There's no doubt that the decline in testosterone rates could be one of the reasons for depression being on the rise in men, as...
Just half... Does he link these? I want to see. Don't care how he edits his videos. I don't really care what his gear is. I just don't see a link. To anything that he's fucking saying. There's just no link. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna write these off. I don't care. I don't.
Being depressed are
especially with the ending. It just
entails. One should boost their testosterone and have more strength and vigor for life from these masculinity videos. I believe is a big positive. Good, clean dieting.
No, you literally showed some very lame examples of weak men. What? Weak men doing modern day things. You should have just said weak men doing weak things. Because I get what you meant when you'd said that. So weird.
And consistent exercise is appearing to become less and less valued, at least in American culture. But let's dive deeper into this whole idea behind being physically strong. A lot of these videos only depict people who are extremely muscular and massive. For a young, impressionable teenager, this is what the ideal man is for them. Screw anything else. If they can just be massive and muscular, then people will respect them for how manly they are. But I disagree with the idea that having a more muscular physique makes you more of a man. If you are pursuing a strong aesthetic body because you want to be able to tower over people and dominate them and have people be intimidated by you, you are subconsciously telling yourself that you are afraid to have any vulnerable points. You are only pursuing a better body in a pursuit to cover up your past traumas and insecurities and suppress them at all costs.
What the fuck does this have to do with what's this have to do with hopeless men? How are they hopeless? You showed articles you don't link. They're only partial articles. Why not show the full thing? Does it go against what you say? Probably. That's my assessment. I have a right to make that too, because you don't fucking show the entire thing. You don't even link it. Again, it's the same shit. Different year. This is the same fucking stupid ass ordeal that you had with your fucking "Why Men Are Weaker Than Ever" video. Like, you're a fucking fool, man. You're equally weak because you don't actually contribute shit to society. If you want to be technical here, like, what the fuck's this?
Because many men are taught to do.
Because guess what? If if the world was nuked and aliens came to fucking collect data from the Earth, they'd fucking tranquilize or disintegrate your shit. And probably say, I cannot believe human is stupid, and they believe this idiot who not know what he talk about.
This is
sounded Asian there. Didn't mean I was trying to sound like an alien, but that failed.
Be the most physically dominant man in the room, but still be the weakest in every other area. And when that is the case, you are just as fragile as the man who has no muscles and the same amount of insecurities. This is a part of traditional masculinity.
No fucking shit, man. You're not preaching anything fucking noteworthy. You're literally sitting here. I really want to say what
that I feel needs to be updated. I feel like a lot of young guys stop themselves from pursuing something that they would enjoy, that would be a benefit to their lives, such as being a singer, a writer, or something typically associated as a more feminine career, because they think society would value them less and it wouldn't be masculine of them to do so. Now, as a man, you'd want to assure that you are, at the very least, physically competent. If you have no sort of strength or ability to move things and be agile, and you're obese, you should want to do something about it, because it's probably contributing to your lack of energy and happiness. But you should.
That's only if it is, though.
Have to strive for this very unrealistic ideal that's often portrayed in the media or online in order to feel masculine. Whether you're a soccer player, engineer, programmer, skater, writer, singer, or the like, you are no less of a man than the guy with six-pack abs from the Reject Modernity.
Oh, I know.
Videos. And luckily, a few of these videos.
Isn't that revolutionary? Isn't Cole just like the man with words? What you're saying is a no-brainer.
Actually portray men in other roles other than being super dominant, muscular, and masculine sometimes. Oh, but Cole, why do you lift weights then? Well, it's engraved into who I am at this point. I love the way it makes me feel. I like
another shirtless montage. I am skipping this. Thank you. I don't want to fucking see you with your shirt off. Don't know why you have to show that off. You've shown that off many times. It's just such a weird thing to do.
Then more of it. Now, let's talk about...
And you ain't no Patrick Bateman either. Patrick Bateman's cooler. And that's saying a lot.
Even more controversial aspect of strength in men. Mental strength. This is one of the most widely misunderstood parts of what it means to be masculine.
It's not. It's just this guy just lives such a fucking limited life, or he just has very minimal experiences, and I just think he spends way too much time on the internet. This has been said to pretty much all of us that actually like to live life outside of the internet. I'm sorry. That's the truth.
I remember when I was a teenager and I was out to...
And actually, by the way, that point he brought up about, well, they don't pursue these feminine jobs because, you know, they're afraid of being made fun of. Well, what if life got in the way? Like, he thinks he knows what he's talking about. He doesn't.
dinner with my parents and my sister, and we were talking about how my sister was working through some sort of relationship issue. My mom was suggesting seeking some sort of help, and I was agreeing, and we ended up talking about how great it is that there are so many resources now for those struggling with their mental health. As a response, my dad said something along the lines of, "We used to just tell people to get over it," and it works too. This, I feel, encapsulates a part of traditional masculinity that has caused decades of generational trauma in men. When men are taught that being mentally strong means being able to bottle up your emotions and get rid of them somehow, they are more likely to be depressed, hopeless, commit...
You know, I met a few people, men actually, who've told me that's terrible. And it is.
Violent crimes and be verbally and physically abusive. The problem
Not all
is
the
this
time.
aspect is really confusing. We're told that society will take advantage of and disdain men for being emotional, and we're also taught that women don't want an emotional man. So if we're not supposed to show our emotions, but the very fact that we don't show
I was never taught that.
emotions makes us more out of touch with ourselves and therefore leads us to do negative things, what is a man to do? The answer is not as clear as I'd like it to be. The paradoxical thing that I've realized is that in order to establish more emotional control and maturity, and therefore be less emotional, you must find a way to feel and express your emotions somehow. Now, knowing when to do this is really the most important part. There are some situations in which people will...
And I will say this is actually agreeable. This is the only thing in this video I agree with, but it's a no shitter. He talks like he made a new fucking, psychology discovery. And he fucking didn't. This has been pretty much spread for a while.
Take advantage of you if you're being super emotional. For example, if you're super depressed and repeatedly crying about how you hate your life in front of your girlfriend or some girl that you're interested in... And
she's gonna leave. For sure. I mean, no one, not even a dude, not even me. I wouldn't want a woman constantly crying about her past relationships or... her life at all, because I wouldn't do it. It's a no-brainer, dude.
Women has not yet established a strong bond with you,
No-brainer,
or her
man.
emotional intelligence and maturity is quite low, then yes, she's probably going to lose attraction for you. But if you're with, let's say...
I think Cole might have actually been born in a rock. Or under. He might have been born under. And has remained there. Since probably birth.
One or both of your parents, who you know won't judge you, and you just need to let
Because you have to have no experience with the outside world. Or at least not have, I don't know. Have you ever even had a job?
out and get everything off your chest, then you should absolutely do it. Because nothing gets resolved or healed by suppressing it, and that's what a lot of us men were
No fucking shit.
taught to do.
Like, even that oracle you showed, it doesn't show that you're bringing in new information. Like, I like the word he used. He made a paradox discovery. Fucking yeah, right. He probably read it off some damn website.
In order to cope with our more emotional side from a young age. Again, I think this is where traditional masculinity falls short. It's very disappointing to me to still see so many teenagers and adults making fun of men for showing their emotions. Part of it definitely comes from
Yeah, it
these
sucks, but it doesn't happen all the time. Like,
beliefs about what it means to be a man and what's acceptable as a man that's been passed down for generations in society, but part of it is
always be stoic. Oh, look. You know what's funny? I'm gonna get out full screen. I know you're gonna see my ugly taskbar here. I think it looks ugly. And then we're gonna go here to YouTube and we're gonna go to his channel. Okay, let's see. Look at that. Anywho,
it's
the same thumbnail technically as the last video. Anywho, Cole Hastings. The stoic practice that made me stop wasting my life away. 3 stoic practices. Oh god, the philosophy that changed my life. Stop trying to be alpha. The thing is, he preaches about technically being stoic. And this is now an issue. I just don't get this guy. He just kind of seems to be a flip-flopper. Could be wrong.
also due to most
Maybe that video doesn't entail, but I'm not watching that. I don't need to.
people still being controlled by their more primitive brain areas, which is something I'm going to bring up repeatedly throughout this video. When humans were fighting for their survival every day, they knew that if they stuck to the people who could be fearless and stoic in the face of danger, they'd have a better chance of surviving. And so people naturally gravitated towards and were attracted to...
Yeah, back then. What's this got to do with now? What the fuck does... you know, the BC era fucking have anything to goddamn do with today's day and age? What does it have to do with 2023?
The people that looked like they had their together at all times. Many of us are still functioning on that same primitive
And then people realize that people that look like, because sociopaths do that all the time. They will always make themselves look like they have everything together, and they fucking clearly don't. They clearly fucking don't.
which is very advantageous for survival, but is lacking in empathy and self-discovery. We need to start to get to the point as a society to break past these more primitive level brain areas.
There are. It's called fucking therapy. This is what I mean. Do you even get out? Or are all of your interactions with your buddies? Because you can't do anything without them.
Allow men to speak up.
I don't know. It's so funny to me.
And get the help they need from other men or anyone else without being so heavily judged. Because when...
Yeah, called fucking therapy, dumbass. Like, holy shit, this guy is just... I don't even know if he goes outside. I think he spends too much time looking at the monitor that I see fucking back there. That's what I think.
When we allow this to happen, it creates what I believe to be a truly good man. Emotionlessness is not the masculinity we should be aspiring towards.
Oh, yeah, no shit, dude. Come on.
Is. And that only
What's this have to do with how is this a crisis? This is that you're just coming up with theories again.
When we can find and create more safe spaces for men to talk about these massive expectations that are put on them to either be happy or emotionless, make tons of money, have a muscular physique, and be able to dominate everything and everyone in order to be a man. Luckily, like I talked about in that story earlier, things like therapy are becoming more widely available and accessible. And if you are struggling with expressing your emotions and feeling heard right now, then I highly suggest BetterHelp. If you've been on my channel for a while,
it's been around for a while. I don't know why he's saying that. I want society. We need to start getting to where where men get help. Why? Okay, and I'm skipping this. Alright.
During this video. So in short, being mentally strong isn't about showing no emotions or only showing the emotions of dominance, power, and aggressiveness. It's about not letting your emotions be bottled up so that they don't come out in the many different...
No fucking shit. Dude, do you not feel the rage, like, when you get mad? When that shit happens? The fuck?
Forms of abuse.
This, again, I know I'm not saying much because I expect the people that are watching this to be fucking intelligent. But if you don't know what I'm saying, you can simply look this up. You don't need Cole to tell you this. He's not discovering anything new. He's just trying to make a quick buck. It's what these fucking life experts, quotes, very hardcore quotes, that's what they're here for. You know, if these videos do help you, I think he's better than the Redpill, that's for damn sure. Because the Redpill fucking coaches are just idiotic. Like, they're so stupid, I can't even believe if they have a girlfriend, that they even have one. Or if they are pulling women. Anywho.
Like bullying, self-harm, and domestic violence, and coming more in tune to your emotional needs that are closely associated.
But he's not, this guy ain't any better either.
With the more feminine aspects.
He likes to bitch about the day and age he's actually a part of. Like, I get some people, like, you hang out with, I don't know, man.
Like the need to be nurtured, cared for, and understood. Again, I found a very paradoxical thing to happen when you start to do this. When you learn to...
No, you didn't.
Harness the more feminine aspects of your human nature, your ability to battle adversity and tough times actually gets stronger, which is counterintuitive to what we've been taught. Like, dude, it's okay to want a hug. It's okay to not be okay. Find a healthy way to open up about what you're going through.
You see, he's using the language like he discovered this. He didn't. This has been taught. Cole just had parents, I guess, that didn't fucking love him. Or a father figure, at least, that probably didn't want anything to do with him. I don't know. And told him stupid shit like that. I don't know. But seems like it, because of the way you're talking. This shit's been out for years. Which is why I don't understand this is a thing.
And I promise you, your ability to remain more masculine in the good ways will significantly improve. All right, we have the biggest core trait. Now let's move on to assertiveness. If you want to be masculine, you have to assert yourself in this world.
No, if you want to fucking be not taken advantage of and fucked in the ass left, right, and center every day, you need to assert, not dominance, but you need to assert yourself. No shit. That's what you do.
You want to be able to say, this is what I want, and this is how I'm going to get it. And you never want to be dishonest to yourself and others about what it is you want and need. But the way in which much of traditional masculinity approaches how to be more assertive isn't even really assertiveness. It's much more attuned to being passive-aggressive or actively aggressive. You see, on the two sides of the spectrum, we have assertiveness and passiveness. Someone who is passive...
These are different things, though.
...is a massive people pleaser. They always put other people's needs in front of theirs. They're emotionally dishonest in an effort to not offend anyone. They are indirect with their words, and they overly apologize. This is the very opposite of what some...
Very few people that's under strict parenting. Seems like the signs you'd find somebody that had strict parents. At least that's the signs I saw when I looked them up myself. So...
Someone who is confident and emotionally mature.
So not everyone's affected by this.
AKA...
Even if you have strict parents.
And does. Next to that is passive aggressiveness. When you are passive aggressive, you are still being emotionally dishonest and indirect.
Some people, I would consider myself lucky. Because I never was a people pleaser. Like, I'm very opinionated. When it comes to, you know... not to be too opinionated, but whatever.
Your actions and words.
It beats being a people pleaser, that's for sure.
But instead, you are subtly making...
And I'm grateful for that.
...clear that your rights and needs prevail over others. A good example...
Oh, no shit, man. Like, why...
of this is someone who gaslights you for not doing what they want, and they make you question whether you're doing the right thing or if you're actually a good person. If they say things like, don't you think you're overreacting a little, or it wasn't even a big deal, you're just being emotional, they are being passive-aggressive. Again, this is not really something that most people would regard as traditionally masculine, but
I think that was gaslighting.
It's closer to the line of traditional masculinity in that it puts your needs and wants above everyone else's. Then there's the traditional masculine aggression. This is when you are direct and honest, even if it's inappropriate and severely hurts others, you attack and blame others, and you do whatever it is you want to do and get whatever you want to get at the expense of others. This type of masculine energy comes out when you haven't developed your emotional maturity and you were taught at a young age to dominate over everyone and always put yourself first, which is what a lot of young guys with an old father figure are taught. Again, this is coming from our more...
Not a lot. Why do you keep saying a lot? This guy does not... He's not friends with the entire fucking planet. He's not friends with every guy in the fucking country. He has a very limited circle, and it just seems to have kind of fucked with his head a bit.
Primitive brain areas that see everything as a battle for survival. But the repeating problem with the primitive brain areas is that although they are incredibly useful, they rarely take into account other people's rights and needs and only optimize for the ego's survival. This is not how masculinity should be. True, healthy assertiveness takes into account the rights and needs of everyone involved. The goal is not to ignore and disrespect others, as some teachers of traditional masculinity suggest, but to allow them to communicate and for you to be empathetic of their beliefs and needs while sticking to your own beliefs and needs. You want to be direct and honest, not manipulative and hostile. You want to be flexible.
Yeah, but I don't think you even know how it's not to be. Like, how it's not to be manipulative. You made a fucking video calling an entire gender weak based off of liminal experiences and tried to make it seem objective. That's what I think. You fucking dweeb, man.
But firm with your decision.
I don't know, I would never get along with this guy at all. I would think this guy's a fucking idiot. This guy is so dumb.
So assertiveness is an excellent trait for any man to develop, so long as it isn't done in an overly aggressive, unempathetic way. And by virtue
no fucking shit.
Being
You're such a fucking philosopher. Holy crap, you should be a fucking scholar, man. Yeah, don't be a dick. It's pretty much what he said.
And empathetic, dominance no longer becomes the main masculine goal. Now, if we're talking about what women like in bed and whether you should be dominant in that realm of life...
Why are you bringing that up?
That's a different story and varies from woman to woman. Lastly, we...
Oh, God! I have a feeling he was trying to flex there. Doubt that he has all that experience.
We have the final...
Again, he just keeps showing he has a very small world experience. Very limited.
Of masculinity, leadership. More often than not, men have this innate desire to want to help...
God damn, what is with you... walking around shirtless?
Around 90% of the people who watch my videos.
Okay, we're gonna go back.
At least leading ourselves upon something and improve. We want to feel like we're purposefully contributing and leading something, and if it's not anything outside of us, then at the very least, leading ourselves. It's why the vast...
What the fuck? Yeah.
Majority of self-improvement channels are male-dominated, and I think it explains why around 90% of the people who watch my videos are men. But I have to wonder, how much of men's strong desire to want to be better...
That doesn't mean anything! You're using YouTube as a source. Good job! You're showing how fucking uneducated you are.
Improve and lead.
Did you complete elementary, or did you drop out midway through? Was it 3rd grade? Oh no, I would say 4th grade is probably when it got tough for you.
Comes from a genuine innate desire, and how much of it is societal pressure telling us that that's what makes us a man. The problem with this is it's just not possible for every single person in the world to be a leader. Think about something like an army, corporation, or sports team. Would these things run effectively if every single male on it was trying to lead and be seen as a leader? No, it wouldn't. Of course, men tend to have more qualities associated with being a good leader, like being assertive, protective, and providing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every single man is going to find themselves in a leadership role. This idea that we're all in a competition with one another to dominate one another, while as true as it might be in some...
Why just be your own person? Because I think Cole just, I guess, believes and falls for this shit like any fucking lost lamb does. That's what I think.
Of life can do a lot of harm if a man is basing his entire worth on whether he's in a leadership role or not. And much of traditional masculinity
He's reading something there.
assumes that a truly worthy masculine man is leading an entire tribe of individuals, is providing for an entire family, or is a big-time CEO or entrepreneur. Until you achieve one or more of these things, then you cannot be considered a man. Again, this is an outdated concept. You should want to improve yourself. You should want to stop distracting yourself with an abundance of comfort and pleasure and do challenging...
Fuck you. Don't tell me what I can and can't do. You shouldn't, like, then you shouldn't be making fucking YouTube videos. You should actually go on stages. Which I doubt that's ever gonna happen, because if they see your shit, your content, they're gonna laugh. They're gonna be like, this guy is not that smart. You should have stayed in college. I think he graduated. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't fucking remember, and I don't give a fuck.
Things that are instantly gratifying, but you don't need to dominate and be above everyone and everything around you. So
you can indulge as much or those pleasures as you want, but I will say don't overdo it. It's pretty much what he's saying, but that's just a no-brainer, man.
What am I trying to get at with all this?
Oh, here's the solution. This right here is just what made me realize that this video was a complete waste of time, and I just wasted more of it watching it again, but... Well, I didn't watch the entire thing, but after he states his point, I'm gonna stop.
The solution to this generation's current problems isn't to revert back to past tradition. It's to focus on simply being
no shit, that'd be so dumb.
Good person who can stop the cycle.
Oh, a good person! Oh, what a conclusion. Good job, Cole. Very good. Very good. I actually really, really like your conclusion. I couldn't have guessed it myself. Very good. So you gotta be a good person? That's all this fucking dumbass video equated to, was just you to say, well, I think you just need to be a good person. I'm a fucking intellect. I paradoxically discover things. You don't. You're spreading the same information. It's not bad. You're spreading the same information that's been taught by decent people once you meet them. They'll tell you the same fucking thing. That's it. And for him to sit here and say this whole crisis or this masculinity crisis, it's a problem, and his own solution is to be a fucking good person, what a dumbass. What a fucking idiot.
Of generational trauma passed on to us from...
Wow, that's not, like, yeah, no fucking shit. That goes for women, too. Your conclusion doesn't just go for men. It's not just for men.
Previous generations by not being so tied down by a singular masculine ideal. It blows my mind how many people think that going back to past traditions can help us solve present-day problems. And forcing people to marry again or be a very particular type of man or woman...
Forcing people to marry?
Or have a nuclear...
What people have you been around?
Family. These things aren't going to magically make everything better. Traditional values and forcing people to live a very certain life and be...
Even back then it was fucked up.
...in order to have value are what led the world, and specifically men, to start feeling like they no longer want to exist in the first place. No, what we need is to transcend the idea of traditional masculinity entirely. Whether you're a man or a woman, we all need to stop being so controlled by our primal desires and harness them for good instead of let them run rampant and abuse, mistreat, and look down upon others. It doesn't mean we start demonizing masculine traits and...
He's just trying to sound smart by saying be a good person. He's an idiot. He thinks he's smart. To be honest, no, he's not. He's saying the same information. It's not terrible, but I just don't like how he goes about it. He tries to come off smart, and he goes out and does all these things and makes these fucking discoveries and knows all about men. He fucking doesn't. Dude, what 20-year-old knows that much about the world? And I'm 24. Bro. Bro, I like, dude, seriously, man? You weren't saying anything new here. And no links to those articles, bro. Pardon me. I know I kept burping throughout this whole thing, but not the whole thing, but you know. God damn. So that's Cole's video. To basically sum it up, be a good person. That's why there's a masculinity crisis. There's a generation of hopeless men, and this guy, his conclusion is, be a good person. 22 fucking minutes, and this entire controversial video is be a good person. Why didn't you just say that in the beginning to save yourself the time? Anywho, that's me, Sacred G. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. I just don't like this content creator, dude. I just think his fucking content's weird as fuck. I just don't understand why he's being like this older audience, bitching and complaining about a day and age that he lives in and kind of is a part of. I mean, you make content on the internet, which is a Gen Z thing. So why you bitching? Anywho, it's me, Sacred G. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace the fuck out.